2003 WRC is an unforgettable journey around 14 countries and 4 continents. It's the arena for the fastest, toughest, roughest clash of man and machine against the elements. It's 3 days of hard driving where skill, stamina and strength are key to surviving the most hostile environments on Earth.
Marco, where are you?
Marcus Grönholm is world champion. Grönholm ran away with the title last year, but this season there's a new point system, and it could mean a break on Grönholm's success. This year the top 8 finishers will lead with points. There's plenty of great opposition who'll be hoping to keep Grönholm back and take the 2003 crown for themselves. The Finn's Peugeot teammate Richard Burns was the 2001 world champion, and he'd love to get it back, but he'll have a fight on his hands. French rivals Citroën start their first full season in the WRC with a lineup that reads like a who's who of rallying. Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz have an incredible 49 World Rally wins between them, and they join rising star Sébastien Loeb. There was shocking news from Carlos Sainz, who joined Citroën minus co-driver Luis Moya, breaking a formidable 15-year partnership. Mark Marty had the awesome task of filling Luis's shoes. The departure of Colin and Carlos leaves Ford with the youngest driver lineup ever. At just 27 years of age, Marco Martin is the team leader. But if you think Marco's young, what about his teammate Francois Duval? He's just 22. Subaru start the brand new season with a brand new car. They're hoping a state-of-the-art spoiler, changes to the suspension and engine will give Tommi Mäkinen and Petter Solberg a championship-winning car. Hyundai were over the moon with their 4th place finish in the manufacturers' race last year, but are optimistic of even better results. Once more the task falls to Armin Schwartz and Freddie Leutz. And finally, Skoda have underlined their commitment to the WRC with a 3-year plan and have persuaded 1994 world champion Didier Auriol to join Tony Gardemeister. And once more, there'll be a new car later in the season. As ever, the season kicks off in Monte Carlo. Run since 1911, this is the oldest and most prestigious rally. Victory here means entry to rallying's Hall of Fame. High in the Alps, the winters are savage. The stages are covered in ice and snow, and it's treacherous going through the hundreds of twists and turns. First to fall in the mountains was Skoda's Tony Gardemeister. And it was ice that put an end to Freddie Leutz's Monte. But his Hyundai teammate Armin Schwartz had no worries. He finished in the points. Tommi Mäkinen's chances of his 5th consecutive Monte Carlo win disappeared when he lost his front brakes. Bad news on the icy roads. He battled on in vain, but retirement followed on stage 5. Petter Solberg couldn't carry the Subaru charge either. He also retired on the same stage. Marco Martin showed some strong form early on, but Ford's new number 1 couldn't keep up with the pace of the front-runners Citroën and Peugeot. He escaped this near miss to finish 4th. But it wasn't pre-rally favourite Gilles Panizzi who was setting fastest times. He eventually retired due to ill health. And it wasn't 2001 world champion Richard Burns who was laying down the gauntlet. It was world champion Marcus Grönholm who came out fighting. Making a great start to his title defence, he set a string of fastest times and laid down the challenge to Citroën. Colin McRae took to his new car straight away. From the very beginning, he was on for a podium finish. Despite this bump, Carlos Sainz wasn't too far behind. But despite all the experience of Citroen's new signings, it was their youngest driver, Sébastien Loeb, who really took the fight to Gronholm. The Frenchman learned his trade on these roads. He was totally unfazed by the icy conditions, started setting blisteringly fast times, and before long, he'd snatched the lead from Gronholm. Stuck in a Citroen sandwich, perhaps the pressure was getting to the world champion. The uncharacteristic error was costly. Gronholm's badly damaged wheel dropped him out of contention and out of the points. A bad start to his title defence. Leaving the way clear for Citroen. Loeb took victory, with McRae and Sainz completing a clean sweep on the podium. The French team had made an incredible debut in their first full season in the WRC. With just one round gone, it's Sébastien Loeb who's leading the championship, with his Citroen teammates just behind. Sweden next, and deep in the forests of Värmland, the wide-flowing stages are covered with thick ice and lined by snowbanks. Most drivers would approach with caution. But not WRC drivers. Here they go at one speed only, flat out. Driving on snow in Sweden demands special tyres and a very special skill. One wrong move and... Sébastien Loeb came out determined to hold on to his championship lead. He set the fastest time on the first stage, but it was short-lived. The slippery conditions got the better of him and he slid down the leaderboard. Colin McRae wasn't having a great day either. Another Citroen, another spin. Carlos Sainz had a difficult rally in Sweden. His was the only Citroen to finish out of the points. There were no worries for Ford's new #1 driver, Marco Martin. He's proving more than a match for the WRC's more experienced drivers. For the second rally in a row, he finished fourth. Harry Rovanperä has only ever won one rally. That was here in 2001. But a freak accident denied him this time. Unaware that the spectators were warning him to slow down, Rovanperä smashed his Peugeot into Juuso Piccolisto's stranded car. Luckily, no one was hurt, but Rovanperä was forced to retire. Marcus Gronholm was flying and much faster than all his rivals. But there were scary moments. He hit this hole hard and damaged his steering, but it didn't slow him down. Leading from the front, Gronholm proved that he has what it takes to hold on to his title. Tommy Mäkinen was on blistering form. He was second. Rallying on Sweden's snow is fast and fun, and Richard Burns was loving it. His efforts would be rewarded with a podium place. So, confirmation of the WRC Rally Sweden result. Gronholm wins from Mäkinen and Burns. Loeb and McRae find themselves at the top of the championship leaderboard, and Gronholm's first score of the season sees the title race really hotting up. Round 3, WRC Rally Turkey, is a totally new event. Turkey is a country that most of us know as a holiday destination, and Antalya is one of the country's biggest resorts. But for rally drivers, this is no holiday. Sébastien Loeb was first out onto the stages on day one. But despite negotiating his way through the gravel, he was destined to retire. Sébastien and co-driver Daniel Elena got lost and ran out of fuel. The car stranded and they get no points. But there's still joint championship leader Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz to fight on for the French team, and with all their rivals suffering problems, it was looking good for Citroen. First out of the way was Marcus Gronholm. His Peugeot's power steering just couldn't keep up with this pounding. The world champion slipped so far down the leaderboard, he asked to go home, but the team said no. Tommy Mäkinen was going great guns too until his car decided it couldn't take any more. First the shocks give up, then the electronics. The Finn is devastated. Now he's fighting for a point. It was the rough roads that would prove to be Petter Solberg's downfall too. Not a great start to Solberg's season, 2 retirements in the first 3 rallies. Harry Rovanperä was leading the rally when his 206 gave way to the rough conditions. His suspension shattered. His emergency repairs were in vain, and it was retirement for the Finn.
2 kilometers.
Hyundai's challenge was being led by Armin Schwartz until his car set alight. 2-times world champion Didier Auriol would also have a hard time on the brand new rally. His Skoda couldn't make it to service. The second rally in a row, it was no points for the Frenchman. Out of trouble and on the podium was Ford's Francois Duval. So the story of this rally was sit back and wait for the others to fall, and that's just what Carlos Sainz did. The veteran rally driver used all his experience to guide his Citroën through the rough gravel without trouble. And for the first time in over a year, the Spaniard claimed victory. It was similar tactics for Richard Burns. The Englishman took second, and that was enough to take the lead in the championship. The first ever WRC Rally Turkey was a thriller. 18 stages of hell for the drivers and pure delight for Carlos Sainz. Next up, New Zealand. Cars, equipment, drivers, engineers, mechanics, the whole WRC travels over 12,000 miles from their European bases to the country's North Island, where 22 super fast stages radiate from the rally base in Auckland. New Zealand saw the debut of the much-awaited and much-talked-about brand-new Ford Focus. And Marco Martin set about showing everyone that there was a brand-new challenger for the title. He set 3 fastest stage times and was chasing victory when disaster struck. The engine ground to a halt, a disappointing end, but there's no doubt there's a new force to be reckoned with. This was the first time the Citroëns have been to New Zealand, and it wasn't to be a great rally for Colin McRae or Carlos Sainz. McRae really got off to a bad start when his windscreen missed it up in the rain. Then he hit a bank. The suspension's gone, and the Scots rally was over. Carlos Sainz went off the road and into a ditch. The bank was just too steep for the Citroën to climb out. The detour through the field cost him nearly 15 minutes. No retirement, but no points either for the former world champion. Leaving Sébastien Loeb the best of the Citroëns again, he finished 4th, a great boost to his title chances. A number of rallying superstars also hit trouble. On day 1, Tommy Mäkinen was off colour and off the pace. On day 2, he was on the throttle a little too much. Local police caught him speeding on the way to a stage. He got a ticket and a 5-minute time penalty. But it was Armin Schwartz and Harry Rovanperä who made the most spectacular exits. Schwartz rolled his Hyundai, and this is what Harry did to his Peugeot. Luckily, both Harry and his co-driver walked away unscathed. Both Skodas finished with Tony Gardemeister's 5th, his best of the season so far. Petter Solberg was having a great time despite some heart-stopping moments.
Come on!
His efforts were rewarded with 3rd place and his first podium place of the season. Richard Burns' last rally win came in New Zealand in 2001. He wasn't destined to repeat that this year, but 2nd place was enough to hold on to the championship lead. But there was no doubt as to who was the king of New Zealand. Marcus Ronald grabbed the lead from the very start and pulled so far away from his rivals, he could even get away with this.
Quick, On the wheels, on the wheels. Turn it. Turn it, go. Very good.
As soon as the wheels hit the ground, he drives on to victory.
Finland, deep one.
Confirmation then that Grönholm wins from Richard Burns and Petter Solberg. Didier Auriol claiming the final point for Skoda in 8th. Round 5 of the World Rally Championship brings the cars, drivers and teams to South America for a rally that's as dramatic as its setting. This is Argentina. The competition is based northwest of Buenos Aires in Cordoba. With its soft gravel surface and water splashes, Rally Argentina is a high-speed, high-altitude, high-risk event that will have you on the edge of your seat. The first casualty of the rough stages was Freddie Loix. 2003's not been a good season for the Belgian. Engine failure in Argentina means he still has no points. There were scary moments for his Hyundai teammate Armin Schwartz too. The burning inferno in the middle of the road is what's left of Colin McRae's Citroën. It was a bizarre exit for the Scot, and it's yet another setback to his championship chances. Tommi Mäkinen's season continued to decline. He hit trouble when he was forced to drive with only second gear. He lost 7 minutes and all hope of winning. In the other Subaru, Petter Solberg rolled. But he made a great comeback to finish in the points. But it was Marcus Grönholm who made the comeback of the season. On the first day, he built up a healthy lead when a rock on the road smashed his suspension. He finished the stage with the wheel hanging off. It slipped down to 6th, with his chances of victory severely dented. Undeterred, he set his sights on catching the men in front. First, he caught and passed Sebastian Loeb. Next of all was Harry Rovanperä. His biggest rival, Richard Burns, conceded 3rd place at the end of day 2. Now all he needed to do was catch Marco Martin and Carlos Sainz, who were standing between the world champion and victory. Carlos Sainz was in the lead and loving it, and catching him seemed an almost impossible task. But there was a mix-up at service. Sainz went in too early, a bitter blow for the Spaniard, as he was handed a 1-minute time penalty. Through no fault of his own, he lost the lead and fell to 3rd. The rally had a new leader, Marco Martin. Once again, this brand new Ford Focus was very fast and very impressive. If he just made it through the day, he'd be on for his first ever WRC victory. But once again, the Focus hit trouble.
The engine is broken.
For the second rally in a row, Martin retired with engine failure. In an event that demanded 100% from the world's greatest rally drivers, it's Marcus Grönholm who was the star. His climb up the leaderboard saw him finish 26 seconds faster than his rivals. So yet again, Grönholm wins, while a good performance from Skoda sees both drivers finish in the points. Burns' podium finish is enough to keep him ahead in the championship, but Grönholm's cut his lead down to just 2 points. Named after the world-famous Acropolis in Athens, Greece's round of the World Rally Championship is one of the most famous endurance events in the sport. This is a rally of attrition, where rough rocks and high speeds combine to make it hard to survive and even harder to win. Hyundai were first to find out just how hard the Acropolis is. On the first stage, Armin Schwartz stopped with a broken alternator. And just 1 stage later, Freddie Loix had suspension problems. He was so slow, he was caught by Ford's Mikko Hirvonen. Loix retired at the end of the stage. Buoyed by his recent form on gravel, Sebastian Loeb was determined to get some good points here. But an engine problem denied him the chance. He was out on stage 1. Colin McRae had difficulty firing up his engine. It led to a hefty 50-second time penalty and was too much to claw back. The Scot finished 8th. Gronholm's winning streak came to an abrupt end at the end of day 1. With all the stages safely tackled, Gronholm was returning to service when suddenly his engine stopped. No oil pressure and no points, worrying times for the reigning champion. Francois Duval had flourished on the rough stuff in Turkey and was going fast in Greece, maybe a little too fast. There was no way the Ford was getting out of this ditch. Ever since he got behind the wheel of his brand new Ford Focus, Marco Martin's been threatening to take victory. But for a man who's had his fair share of drama, Martin was to experience one of the most bizarre incidents of the season. He was in the lead when his bonnet flipped up. Martin was forced to drive blind for over 20 kilometres. But it didn't break his concentration. He held on to the lead. Behind Martin, there was a fight going on for the other 2 podium places. Carlo Sainz was second. It almost let Peter Solberg in. Solberg always pushes to the limit, and sometimes that means scary moments. This time, he couldn't catch Sainz. Not fighting with anyone, Richard Burns was happy to keep out of trouble and hold on to 4th place and the championship lead. And there was no more trouble for Marco Martin either. A superb drive finally proved that the combination of Martin and the new Focus is formidable. It was a worthy debut win for Estonia's rising star. Martin's win means there's a new challenger to add to the list of title hopefuls. This championship's wide open. The WRC 2003 hits its halfway mark on the hottest, twistiest gravel ordeal of the season. This is round 7, Rally Cyprus. Drivers are forced to tiptoe through an unrelenting succession of corners that drag speeds down and push up temperatures. Overheating of man and machine is a very real problem. Brimming with confidence, Marco Martin came to Cyprus determined to continue his charge, but the stages were so dry, dust got into his engine and his oil pressure dropped.
It's the same thing that we had in Argentina. To the right here.
On the same stage, with the same problem, Duval was stranded too. It was dust that caused Freddie Loit's engine to fail too, but Armin Schwartz would bring home some points for Hyundai. Cyprus was the last outing for the Skoda Octavia, and it wasn't a great goodbye. Tony Gardemeister crashed, and an electronic problem saw Didier Auriol retire. There was bad news for Tommi Mäkinen. His steering was badly damaged, but he did go on, only to retire with a broken wheel on day 2. Last year, Marcus Gronholm and Richard Burns were first and second on this rally. The same result here would be a great boost to both their drivers and manufacturers' title chances. But Marcus Gronholm wasn't to repeat his victory. A broken prop shaft put an end to his charge. That's 2 rallies and 2 retirements for the reigning world champion. Consistency that put Richard Burns on top of the championship. He'd scored in every round so far, but there was a hiccup in Cyprus.
Put the manual off, do it quickly. Do it quickly. Do it quickly. Do all the things you need to do, I'll just drive.
Okay.
Searing sun caused his engine to overheat. The Englishman retired for the first time this year. Handing his title rivals the chance to capitalise. Colin McRae seized his chance and put in a great performance. He finished 4th. even better from Loeb. Third place, big points, and tarmac in Germany up next. Things are looking good for this Frenchman, and his Citroën team were more than pleased. Another 206, another mechanical problem. Harry Rovanperä was leading when his gearbox failed, but he still finished second. But it wasn't a French car that took victory in Cyprus. There was a superb performance from the man up front. Staying out of trouble, Peter Solberg guided his Subaru around the rough stages to bring it home in first place, over 4 minutes ahead of the chasing pack. That was Solberg's first win of the season, and only the second of his career, but he did it in style. And Solberg's win puts another spin on the standings. He's now a major contender. Next up, Rally Germany. Based around the country's oldest city, Trier, this is a totally unique event. 3 different regions means 3 different challenges. There's hairpin-filled vineyards, world-famous military stages, and then there's Saarland, 100-kilometre-plus stages where the temptation to cut corners could spell danger. There was plenty for the thousands of fans to get excited about. Armin Schwartz is their local hero. And it was the first chance to get a look at the Skoda Fabia. And it wasn't a great debut, both were out by day 2. This was the first outing of the new Ford Focus on tarmac, and it was a familiar story for Marco Martin. He took an early lead, and then the Focus hit trouble. Martin lost his top 2 gears, with hundreds of hairpins to tackle. That's really bad news. It was an eventful 3 days for Peter Solberg too. The Norwegian has yet to win on tarmac, and Germany proved to be a steep learning curve. Still, his efforts were rewarded with 1 point. Carlos Sainz is one of the most experienced drivers in the WRC, but even a 2-time world champion can be caught out by these tricky German roads. But the Spaniard finished in the points once again, keeping the pressure on Richard Burns. Another 4th place finish means Colin McRae is still in the fight, but he's going to need a victory soon if he's to stay there. As expected, it was Sébastien Loeb who was leading the way for Citroën. Not good news for Peugeot. Loeb was faster than Peugeot's tarmac expert Gilles Panizzi. And Loeb was faster than Richard Burns. But there was one Peugeot which was laying down the challenge to Loeb, and that was Marcus Gronholm. Loeb fought hard to hold him off, and Gronholm pushed hard to catch him, but was caught out himself. The mistake didn't cost much time, but it did cost Gronholm his chance of victory. It's hard to believe that this is Loeb's first full WRC season. His 2nd win of the year proves he's the new tarmac king. So maximum points for Loeb is a real boost for him and the team, but once again Richard Burns is on the podium and ahead of Carlos Sainz. Hold on to your seats, you're about to see the fast and furious fun that is the WRC Rally Finland. The spectacular Finnish countryside has roller coaster roads that boast the biggest jumps in the world. With his championship chances becoming more and more remote, Colin McRae was pushing hard.
Opens the 6/3.
Ending the rally in the trees is bad news for McRae, as his future with Citroën has been put in doubt. That's because each team can only have 2 drivers next year, and Carlos Sainz has done a great job for the team. But in Finland, the Spaniard struggled. The drive seems to have gone out of Tommi Mäkinen. With no chance of the title this season, there were rumours flying the Finn was considering retiring. 10th was all he could manage. There's a bright future ahead for this Finn though. Peugeot confirmed Harry Rovanperä will join Marcus Grönholm full-time in the team next year. But it didn't change his luck. The hot favourite for this event was Marcus Grönholm, and he really needed the win if he's to start next year still with the number 1 on his door. It didn't look like too big a knock, but it cost Grönholm his wheel.
We have something broken in the front and we still have 5 kilometers to go. Something went broken.
Retirement was inevitable. Thrilling his fans, Petter Solberg was chasing Burns for second. Stage by stage, Solberg nudged closer to Burns until, on the very last stage, Burns' lead was cut to just 2 seconds. With only a few kilometres left, could Burns afford to go all out and risk a mistake? But there was no fight for the man in front. Marko Martin is from Estonia, just across the Baltic Sea, and these stages are like home to him. He was cool under pressure, and the car worked perfectly to bring Marko home over a minute ahead.
155 left, get in there.
Martin's win means another maximum points haul for the Ford driver. Second place is great for Solberg. Another podium place keeps Burns on top in the Drivers' Championship, but it's all over for Tommi Mäkinen. Just after Rally Finland ended, Tommi Mäkinen confirmed he was waving goodbye to the World Rally Championship. For round 10, it's another visit to the other side of the world. Perth in Western Australia is the home to a unique event. The gravel is like ball bearings, and it makes it very slippery and very fast. For the retiring Tommi Mäkinen, Rally Australia would turn into a battle with his 2 oldest rivals, Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz. Sainz was lucky to escape this moment and stay in the fight, but the Citroens would get the better of the Subaru in this particular battle of former world champions. Mäkinen finished 6th, with Sainz and McRae above him. Meanwhile, it was bad news for the reigning champion. This was Grönholm's last hope of holding on to his title, and the Finn was leading when he got caught out by the slippery conditions. He buried his Peugeot and his championship chances, and 2004 would have a new number 1. Grönholm's departure left Sebastian Loeb in the lead. Already so impressive on tarmac, he continued his outstanding form on gravel too. But it wasn't an easy ride with both Petter Solberg and Marko Martin on his tail. Martin was in 4th when bad luck struck. During a tyre change, the strap holding down the spare wheel had snapped. He used the rocks to weigh the wheel down. That's against the rules, and he was disqualified. That left a straight fight between Loeb and Solberg. All through the rally, just a few seconds separated the pair. Solberg loves a good fight, and Loeb was in his sights. First he cut the gap to 2.5 seconds, and then down to 1. But Loeb fought back. He showed Solberg he's not daunted by pressure, and set 2 fastest stage times to go into the final day with a 5-second lead. This was shaping up to be one of the greatest contests of the season. And it was Solberg who took first blood on the morning's first stage. He was blisteringly fast and caught and passed Loeb, but the gap was only half a second. Loeb wasn't letting go on the next stage. He snatched his lead back. This was thrilling stuff. Solberg only had 2 stages left to catch his rival, and he was determined top honours would be his. He was devastating, and there was nothing Loeb could do. Solberg took the lead again, and really stamped his mark on Rally Australia, winning it by half a minute.
We were -8 just 4 kilometers ago.
It has been a great fight to watch and a great one to take part in.
It's the fifth time I say no. Really good fun. Really good fun.
But what of championship leader Richard Burns? He had a steady drive and kept out of trouble, finishing third and earning 6 points, extending his lead to the championship. The success of Solberg and Loeb puts a whole new complexion on the championship. They are now serious contenders. There was shock news before the rally Sanremo started. Hyundai announced they were withdrawing from the championship immediately, intending to return in 2005. For the other teams, this autumn rally is a tricky test of slippery surfaces and hundreds of hairpins. It's all about tyres, brakes and bravery. And you need to be brave, because an off here can be big. Just watch Tony Gardemeister. The Finn, who's never finished this rally, retired on day one. Richard Burns was in trouble too. On the most crucial rally of his season, he was off the pace and out of the points. Petter Solberg has never won on tarmac, but his confidence was so high, anything's possible. However, it all went wrong in Sanremo. As he was heading back to service, his Subaru ground to a halt with a fuel problem. It was a long push to service, but Solberg and Mills' efforts were in vain. Retirement for the Norwegian. Carlos Sainz was going well, with Burns way down the leaderboard and Solberg out. He just needed to go steady. Trouble-free run saw him finish fourth with more valuable points. As expected, it was Sainz's teammate Sebastian Loeb who set the pace. Marco Martin was determined to give him a fight, but autumn leaves clogged up his air intake, overheating the engine. Emergency repairs in service saw Martin come out fighting. Back on stage, he proved just what he could do, setting 2 fastest times. But Loeb rose to the challenge. He took the next 2 stages, ending the first day 2.5 minutes ahead. Day 2, though, belonged to Martin. He was fastest in all of the day's stages, a remarkable performance which closed the gap to 43 seconds. A great fight was in prospect for the final day. But it was over before it began. An electrical problem meant Martin left service late, earning a 30-second time penalty and almost certainly meaning he had finished behind Loeb. But there was more bad luck to come for the Estonian when the heavens opened. Thinking it would be drier out on the stages, most drivers chose slick tyres, but not local man Gilles Panizzi. He took an intermediate, and it was a gamble that would have an unbelievable reward. Because when the cars got to the mountains, the roads were very wet. Driving in these conditions on slick tyres is like driving on an ice rink. Marcus Gronholm was first to find out just how bad it was. He was gunning for third when he had this smash. Any hope of retaining his title was over. Now all Peugeot's hopes rested with Panizzi, and on intermediate tyres, he left the opposition standing. Martin just couldn't hold Panizzi off. Out of nowhere, the Frenchman snatched second place. Bad news for Ford, but great news for Peugeot. But there was no question of who would win. Loeb had built such a big lead, he couldn't be caught. Carefully guiding his Citroën to safety, he took a well-deserved victory. 3 out of 3 wins on tarmac, with 2 tarmac rallies to go. Loeb is now looking really good for the world title. 7th place for Richard Burns and maximum points for Loeb means the Peugeot Drivers' Championship lead is cut to 2 points. The Mediterranean island of Corsica is home to the next round of the WRC. Sometimes called the Rally of 10,000 Corners, this is a tight and twisty tarmac test. There was drama before the rally even began. Petter Solberg smashed up his Subaru on shakedown. With the car and his pride dented, his mechanics had to work through the night to get his battered car into the competition. But it wasn't a great start for Solberg. Early on, his gearbox developed a problem, another headache for his exhausted mechanics, who had to do one of the trickiest fixes in the sport in just 20 minutes. Meanwhile, there was a familiar battle taking place up ahead. Carlos Sainz settled into third, but it was his teammate Sebastian Loeb who was gunning for the lead. Marco Martin was in front for a while, but a spin lost him the lead, and his rally eventually ended with this dramatic off. Loeb was in front, but there was still a board on his tail. This time it belonged to the young Belgian Francois Duval. By the end of the first day, he was just 4 seconds off his Citroën rival. But day 2 would prove to be a completely different ballgame. Overnight the rains had come, and once again this would be a day won and lost of tyre choice. The only driver who welcomed the news was Peter Solberg. His Pirellis were best suited for the conditions, and he knew a remarkable comeback could be on the cards. On the day's first stage, he jumped up 2 places to 5th. All the good work Sebastian Loeb had done on the first day was undone in the rain on the second. The beached Citroën took over 10 minutes to get back on the road, and there was no chance Loeb could lead with points. Francois Duval now held the rally lead, and all he had to do was hold off Carlos Sainz, who was just behind. But more threatening still, Peter Solberg, who continued leaping up the leaderboard and was now into 3rd. It was a superb drive from the Norwegian. First he took Sainz, and then Duval. Solberg took his first tarmac win, and it was all down to his mechanics. So confirmation then of Solberg's amazing win, while Sainz took Duval for 2nd. Richard Burns only managed 8th in Corsica and loses the championship lead to Carlos Sainz. Spain is Carlos Sainz country. No other sportsman is more adored by his home fans, and thousands turn out just to watch him on this spectacular event. This is a tarmac rally like no other. These Spanish roads are wide and flowing, and sparks fly as corners are cut. Peter Solberg was the early pace setter, but his lead was short-lived. An alternator problem means he left service late and got a 50-second time penalty, leaving him with another huge comeback on his hands. Tyres ended Marcus Gronholm's chances, who'd chosen too soft a compound for the early stages and was left with no grip whatsoever. In the other Peugeot, Richard Burns was only too aware that his title chances were in serious danger. Once more, he was off the pace and then off the road. No points for Burns. In the third Peugeot, Gilles Panizzi was showing his greatest form of the year. His job is to salvage Peugeot's manufacturer's chances, and it was looking good. The tarmac expert really got into his rhythm and was challenging the leaders, who included Carlos Sainz. He had a great first day and was 2nd, but then he changed his settings. That spoilt his feeling. He lost time, enough for Martin to take 2nd, and then for Panizzi to relegate him to 4th. Once again, it was Loeb who was rally leader and on to take the outright lead in the championship. But there was no chance to relax because the dogfight between Martin and Panizzi was hotting up so much they were eating into his lead. Marco Martin was finding it difficult. His neck was very painful after his crash in Corsica. He found himself entering the final day not chasing the lead but trying to keep Panizzi at bay. Then it was all change on the last day when the rain came lashing down. Great news for Solberg, who seized the chance to make his comeback. He started the day out of the points and ended at 5th. His title hopes very much alive. Now Panizzi was hoping for the kind of rainy comeback that brought him 2nd in Sanremo. In fact, 2nd would be gifted to him. Martin's brakes failed and it was easy for Panizzi to take him. Now his sights were set on Loeb, who did Panizzi a big favour. He chose the wrong tyre. It was a matter of honour for this particular Frenchman to take a tarmac win this year. He seized his chance and took Loeb on the final stage for victory. Benizzi claims 10 points for victory, while Loeb has to settle for 8. But that's enough to give him the championship lead. So this is it, the climax to the 2003 World Rally Championship, Wales Rally GB. Before the event began, there was shocking news. Richard Burns had to pull out of the event for medical reasons. A bitter disappointment for the man who led the championship for most of the season, and a huge upset for his thousands of fans who also suffered the heartache saying goodbye to 4-time world champion and rally legend Tommi Mäkinen. And it wasn't long into the event until the championship turned into a 2-horse race. Carlos Sainz had a big smash and his first retirement of the year. There was to be further revelations back at service when the Spaniard announced his retirement at the end of next year. Although Marcus Gronholm's pace notes were clearly marked logs, he still hit them. Retirement once again for the outgoing world champion. Marco Martin also came to these gravel stages hotly tipped to win, but it was the Focus that was hot. The engine overheated on the first morning and the Estonian was out. That left Sebastian Loeb and Petter Solberg fighting it out for victory and the championship. Loeb took the early lead, but Solberg grilled his fans by snatching it back on the first afternoon. Behind them, there was a great battle going on between 2 rally legends. Tommi Mäkinen was heading for the podium. He battled to hold off the WRC's other departing star, Colin McRae. Although Colin may not be going for good, 2004 will be a sabbatical year for the Scot. But on his last rally for a while, and he was really enjoying the fight with Tommi. He had a flawless run until the very last stage, when a puncture shredded his tyre, forced him to stop and change the wheel. Times for the Citroën team. Hearing the news broke Tommi Mäkinen's concentration and nearly ended his rally. McRae made it safely to the end, and that meant Citroën were guaranteed the manufacturer's title. Next over the line, Tommi Mäkinen. Knowing he'd been lucky, he was just pleased to be on the podium. Loeb was so far behind Solberg, the only hope the Frenchman had to become world champion was for Solberg to make a mistake or have a problem. It was a nervous ride from Markham Park, but Solberg finished the rally and the championship in style, winning the stage and becoming the new world champion.
Petter Solberg, you are this year's World Rally Champion. How do you feel?
It's incredible. I'm completely knackered. It's been a very hard rally, a very hard year. We had so many ups and so many downs, and it's just very good fun for the whole team and Subaru, Pirelli. And at the same time, Tommy, his last rally, and came third. I'm very, very happy for him, very happy. And this victory, I think, is for Tommy for his last, because he has been an incredible friend for me.
And what about all these fans? It's just superb here. What a great atmosphere.
It's so many thousand people around, you know, and so much good support. Thank you, everybody. This has been my biggest dream in the whole world. And my brother, who's sitting at home there in studio, you know. I did it, Henning.
What did it feel like crossing that finishing line?
I don't know. I tried to forget the whole World Championship the whole week. I got it back a little bit this morning, you know, start to think a little bit about it, but I got my feet down on the floor. I must say, this is the best ever in my whole life, after my son, Oliver.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Solberg wins his 4th rally of the year and deserves the title of World Rally Champion. And this is how the championship finishes. Solberg wins by just 1 point from Loeb, while the retiring Tommy Mäkinen ends his last ever season in 8th. And great performances from the 3 Citroën drivers see the French team take the manufacturer's title in their first ever full WRC season. And there was more celebrating for Petter Solberg later on that day. He was awarded the very first Inmarsat Star of the Season award. 2003 has been one of the best seasons ever, but the WRC promises to get even better. Next year there's more rounds and the competition promises to be more fierce. It all starts again in Monte Carlo next January. Make sure you don't miss it.
Colin McRae, Derek Ringer, just on the line. Colin's still locked in this battle for 3rd place with Tommy Mäkinen. There's only 10.2 seconds split between them.
Yeah, it's close, but it's been nip and tuck, hasn't it, all the way through, Robbie? Yeah, watching the splits this morning on the long 19-mile stage they did earlier on, and Colin would gain a few tenths of a second on one split, and then Tommy would come back on the next split. There's just nothing to choose between these two.
I know, it's been a dogfight all the way through the rally. I mean, it'd be great to see them both on the podium, but I don't think it's going to happen, but never say never.
So, is this the last time we're going to see Colin McRae at the wheel of a Works World Rally car? Let's enjoy it. It might be. And we're riding on board with him briefly now. The gear indicator, as you can see, up on the mounted on the top of the dashboard there, gives us an idea of what gear he's in and just how quick this stage is. It is very, very high speed indeed.
That's over 100 miles an hour into the braking zone. You can see him just hitting the brakes. Colin was speeding up the pace notes yesterday on the way through for the 2nd run today. Much neater than Duval through that corner.
It's neat and tidy. Derek Ringer, the man calling those pace notes. These two were together earlier on in their career. Then Nicky Grist sat alongside Colin for a while, and then Derek Ringer coming back this year to join his friend and colleague.
It's amazing to think that Colin has started 143 WRC rallies. I mean, the guy's incredible. 25 WRC wins to his name. He's won this rally 3 times before.
That's right, 3 wins on this rally. Normally he's been a hero to do it. 1994, 1995 and 1997, and those last 2 particular saw brilliant comeback drives after a crash in the fog in one and a puncture in another, and yet he came back through to win. Well, he hasn't been in quite a position to win the event this time around. Citroën very anxious to make sure that McRae finished the rally. He's been thinking about that.
Derek Ringer calling the notes along this fast section.
Again, that's where you can see some of those pretty big rocks and stones that could cause problems.
I mean, look at McRae's. That's 4th gear or is it 5th? It's all quick through there. Just clicked it up to 5th.
Yes, indeed. Well, the man who this year hasn't had a particularly great season. First year with Citroën, and looks like his only year with Citroën. Coming up to the split time here. Surprising. The just 1.1 seconds off Latvala at that split, so he's not much slower, but it's still a surprise perhaps to see that Colin not quite as quick as the youngster. McRae's had 1 second place finish this year, and that's his only podium so far. Now, it looks as though there may be a slight problem on Colin's car there. Let's get a closer look at it if we can. Still moving pretty quickly down the long straight sections here. Not looking too bad at the moment. McRae...
Yesterday, I'm sure he was in 6th gear all the way up this section, Ben.
No, he looks slow there, doesn't he? He definitely looks
going
slow.
on, yeah. Front right.
Is it actually bent, or has he got a puncture?
He's got a problem. Yeah.
Puncture.
Front
right. Well, problem there then. Oh, and he can't even get it turned in.
What's he doing?
What's going to happen? This is 4th place in the rally. 4th place for Colin McRae. He was in the battle for 3rd position.
He's going to have to stop and change this. That's at least 2 minutes.
This is disastrous now.
Oh, no.
He is quite a long way ahead of Francois Duval. In fact, he had a 4-minute advantage over Duval coming into the stage, Robbie.
He should manage it. He's going to know that he's got time in his hands.
Well,
Derek Ringer starting to get the wheel off.
Unbelievable drama here. The tyre change having to be made by Derek Ringer and Colin McRae.
You can see the cut in it, look. And that probably happened through that new section, Ben, with all those rocks. Remember, we saw the JWRC car, that's a 1600 car, break a steering arm there yesterday.
Well, what about this? Would you expect Colin McRae in his last ever rally to have to be doing this?
Normally these tyres don't puncture. The Michelin and Pirellis have both got puncture-proof inserts in them. Yes. Derek's starting to fit the tyre. We're on board with Tommy Mackinnon, that's more like it.
Now, Tommy, of course, in 3rd place. He's only 10 seconds ahead of McRae, but he's going over that rocky ground that we think perhaps was what cost Colin McRae the puncture.
You can hear the rocks hitting the underside of the car. So Tommy's probably going to go past Colin, and that means that Colin's dropped at least 2 minutes.
Yes, indeed. We'll have to wait and see.
That's just the nature of this sport, Ben. It's never over till it's over.
Well, Petter Solberg, I mean, I wonder if Petter Solberg's got any idea what's happened to Colin McRae, if he only knew, sitting, waiting to go at the top.
Well, he might have. He'll be getting fed information from his team back into his car. He wouldn't have started the actual stage yet.
Things can change so quickly in rallying. Who knows what's going to happen? Tommy Mackinnon on the charge with his golden boots that he's wearing here this weekend.
Yeah, Alpine Stars have made him some fresh boots, and they're quite amusing, aren't they?
They're good fun, and he loved it.
Yeah, there's Colin, he's back in the car.
He is.
Door's still open.
To go. Of course, they've then got to get themselves belted in again.
Just getting belted on, so he's not quite dropped. Well, it's 3-minute gaps on this stage. Must remember that.
But 3 minutes is okay. Even if he'd lost 3 minutes, he would still retain his 4th place. So he should be okay here, Colin McRae. He's just got to finish off the stage over the jump. Doesn't attack it too much. Oh dear. real butterflies, real moments for Colin McRae, the man who's been such a hero on Rally GB over the years. What a way for it to finish for him.
Well,
he's not going to beat this man now, I don't think.
Definitely not.
We'll take third.
Absolutely not, unless Tommy has a problem. But,
well, don't say it too soon.
Tommy probably won't know that Colin's had that problem, so he's still going to be pushing hard. Sebastian Loeb, second place,
yeah, second
32
in the rally.
seconds behind.
Second in the rally, second in the World Championship, unless, well, at the moment he's leading it, but after Solberg goes through, it looks like Solberg will be World Champion, but Loeb could still be World Champion if Solberg doesn't make it down this stage. It's all down to the last 7.9 miles, and Sebastian Loeb now on the attack. It's been a difficult rally for him, told by Citroën to back off, not to challenge Solberg too hard, to make sure of the manufacturer's title for Citroën, beyond and above the driver's title for himself. A very difficult situation he's had to deal with. He has dealt with it, I have to say. He's kept his concentration. I think for many drivers they could have made a big mistake under those circumstances.
Sebastian's been remarkable all year. He's been consistent. He's a very quick learner. You know, he's fast. He's won 3 tarmac rallies this year. He's never won a gravel rally yet. He gave Peter Solberg a real hard going over in Australia to finish second.
So let's see, he is pushing, but he's not attacking as hard as we might see sometimes.
I don't think you're going to see him attack. He's going to have to get that car home now.
Do you think he's going to try and flick up a few rocks and stones? You know, that would help, because if he puts a bit of mess on the road, Solberg might have a hard time.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Peter Solberg had a puncture through here?
Exactly. I mean, it's not as if Peter Solberg has a margin of 4 minutes, which is what Colin McRae had over Francois Duval. He's only got a margin of 30 seconds over this man. And if Peter Solberg picks up a puncture, then, well, suddenly we'll have a different world champion. It would be this man, Sebastian Loeb.
Yeah, Sebastian's 29 years old, French.
Really, you can really hear that machine gun delivery of the pace notes from Daniel Elena. These two have been driving together for a number of seasons, of course. Sebastian has already won a world title. That was the Super 1600 category, which he won in 2001. He won the class on this Rally GB.
He's up at the split to Duval.
Indeed, he's
3.2 faster.
Yep, well, we'll see how he gets on as we get down to the end, towards the latter part of the stage. Francois Duval is the pace setter in the Ford on this stage so far.
You notice Sebastian's gear indicator slightly more to the left, just about to hit 6th now.
So far so good for Sebastian Loeb, but it's not going to be enough surely, as long as Peter Solberg can get through the stage cleanly. Still waiting for McRae to finish this section off. Duval is fastest so far. There is the man that everybody's waiting for then. It is Peter Solberg, co-driven by Phil Mills, 39-year-old Welshman on home territory, guiding his man, Peter Solberg. There is Solberg towards his first world title, question mark? Well, he's just got to survive this last stage.
Surely. Peter's, he is nervous. He said he is. He's won 3 events this year, Ben. Cyprus, Australia. He won his first tarmac event in Corsica. It's been a roller coaster ride for him this season.
He's won 12 stages on this rally, though.
This is back to Colin McRae.
Yeah, McRae now on the latter parts of the stage, and you can see how much time he's lost. Duval's time, 7 minutes 22.9 seconds to the stage finish. 9 minutes and a half already gone for Colin McRae, so he's lost well over 2 minutes. Really attacking that jump, though.
It's not going to affect him, though. He's going to hold on to that 4th place, but what a drama at the last stage.
Unbelievable. Well, let's just hope he gets into the line safely. Let's get him across the line. Colin McRae ending the Rally GB. Look at the style, the flamboyance of Colin McRae has always been his trademark, and he comes across the line. He may only be 8th on the stage, but he should have secured 4th place.
That's Peter Solberg's wife and Phil Mills' wife and children.
Yes, they're nervously awaiting their man, of course. But Colin McRae, what a scare. But he's held 4th position. He has finished this year's rally in 4th place, and for Citroën, of course, that is it. They have wrapped up the Manufacturers' Championship now. We're waiting for Loeb to come through, but Citroën, of course, came into this rally with an advantage over Peugeot in the points already. McRae has finished ahead of Loitz. Citroën have won the Manufacturers' title. Now, let's go back to the other Citroën. It's been such a strong team. And you know, when this season started, Robbie, and you had a team that had Colin McRae, Carlos Sainz and Sebastian Loeb, everyone was saying, well, Sebastian here, he might find himself shaded by these two former world champions, and yet look at what he's done.
Yeah, no, it's been a remarkable season for him. He really has, you know, upped his game, and this is, remember, his first full season in WRC, and he's just such a quick learner, and he doesn't make many mistakes at all.
No, superb season that he's had so far.
This is down through this tricky knife edge section, high speed along here. More than halfway through the stage at this point.
Absolutely. A couple of times this year where he's been in great positions and been unlucky. Of course, Turkey was a disaster for him. Got lost and they ran out of fuel. They took a wrong turn on the road section and actually ran out of fuel. Couldn't get back to the service halt, and that was a disaster for him when he was on for a good result. Crashed out in Argentina. Had a non-finish on the Acropolis Rally with the engine on the first special stage. Without those, of course, he would have had more points, but they all have their tales to tell at the end of a 14-round season.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to remember that this guy only made his rally debut in Corsica 1999, his WRC debut. So, you know, it's unbelievable how quickly he is and how much on the pace he is.
Now, here is Petter Solberg, the man heading for his first world
nice
title.
jump there by Petter. He flew over that nicely.
6 left plus, extra long slippy, maybe over crest.
Now that's Tommy Mäkinen.
Yeah.
This is Petter Solberg. Tommy Mäkinen has finished, so he's okay. He's got through safely. Second fastest on the stage to Francois Gival.
That's so far, but Loeb and Solberg will probably beat him. Petter Solberg hasn't been out of the top two all rally. So Sebastian Loeb on to the final few meters.
Absolutely nothing more he can do now. He's given his best. He's driven absolutely brilliantly in this rally, Sebastian Loeb. He's had to control his pace a little bit after being told by Citroën to make sure he finished. He wasn't allowed to go on full attack mode and try and win that driver's title, but he's done everything that Citroën have asked of him, and he is surely a future world champion, even if he's not going to be the 2003 world champion. Using the grass a bit there towards the end.
It's a great shame he wasn't allowed to challenge for that title this year, because Ben, you don't get these opportunities every year. It can be 10 years before he's in this position to be able to fight for a WRC crown.
Well, that's very true, but he's with a top team. He's signed up for a few years with Citroën, and what Citroën have done this year, Robbie, incredible really, to see them come through and win the manufacturers in their first season. Look at that, he goes fastest overall now. Sebastian Loeb taking the stage time. I wonder if that will be challenged by Petter Solberg. Between them, Loeb and Solberg have shared every single stage victory on this year's rally. He's done a brilliant job, and there is the young man who this year has impressed so many people. We all knew he was quick on tarmac, but what he's done on gravel in Australia, here as well on the Rally GB, has surprised so many. But here is Petter Solberg, and all he's got to do now is finish off the last part of this stage.
Yeah, there'll be a few things going through his mind, as Alistair was saying earlier. Everything, all the noises and all the little bumps and cracks that the car makes, you think it's going to break and fail you, especially in these last few kilometres of this stage.
Well, we've seen what happened to Colin McRae.
He's almost home now, though.
Don't say it too early.
Tricky down here, and then they've got those gate posts to try and get through. They're just coming round this corner. Yeah, Petter's backed off. And rightly so.
6 left minus half long, 3 out. Flat short, 6 right, 18. 6 right plus over crest, half long, don't cut. To meet 6 left, tightens minus over crest into 5 right plus half long.
3/4 of the way through the stage. This is down to Richard Burns' corner, where he threw it away last year.
6 right, open 60, caution, slippy braking, 6
Phil
right.
Mills must be feeling just as nervous as Petter Solberg. One failed note, one calling something wrong, and it could all go wrong for them. Carlos Sainz, another world championship contender, had an accident on the first day when he misheard one of his pace notes. So crucial.
Petter won this rally last year, and that was his first WRC victory. So in 1 year, he could potentially become world champion.
Astonishing, and what a reception he's getting from the crowd. The Subaru coming through, and you know, this is going to be the 7th time in 10 years that a Subaru has won the Rally GB. I mean, that's some astonishing performance as well, Robbie.
Yeah, that's a Subaru Pirelli package is really working well. Peter's heart must be in his mouth. Mine is.
You've got a feel for him now, haven't you? That championship, you can almost taste the champagne now. He's only got the last part of this stage through the gate safely.
Literally 500 metres to the finish.
Over the jump. This is just about where Carlo got to when his engine blew in 1998, of course. So it's still not over until he gets to the flying finish.
This is the run-up. I'm fairly sure Peter Solberg is now going to be the 2003 World Rally Champion.
Well, he could almost push it home from here now.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Look at the time. And listen.
That's Pernilla, his wife. Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
What a result.
He has done it. Peter Solberg is 2003 World Rally Champion. The 28-year-old has done it. He's the first Norwegian to become World Rally Champion.
I can't wait to see this, because when Peter wins a rally, he goes ballistic.
Well, he's known.
That's Tommy Mäkinen.
Yeah, fantastic.
Cały wins
four-time
from
champion. Oh, what an achievement.
And there's Tommy's golden boots.
He got married to Pernilla just this year. What a year it's been for him to take the title in the very last round of the championship.
Amazing stuff.
Tommy Mäkinen won 4 consecutive titles in the late 1990s. He's well known for coining the phrase maximum attack, which he followed throughout his career. But Mäkinen has decided to bow out after Wales. We talked to him about how he feels as this day fast approaches.
It's been so big part of my life, so big part in my heart. It's, so I'm sure the most difficult time might be next January, when we should be start wrecking in Monte Carlo, and so that might be a difficult time. When you sit behind the steering wheel and you have a good feeling and you're on stage, and it's really, when it goes well and you have a feeling now it is 100%, that's the moment that I'm gonna miss very much. I'm kind of a person who wants to try to win, and if it is, when it starts to be enough, and if there's any little question of motivation, it's better to leave it. I want to have more relaxed and to follow and having easier life. Definitely I will follow what's going on, and I will watching and spectating many rallies.
Tommy clinched his first championship in Australia in 1996.
That was very special. I remember that always. Straight from Australia, where we won it, we went. I went down to Japan to see them, and that was really an unforgettable moment. All wins, all titles, everything, they so special always. Every single time they've been very special. It's like every year you have done whole season and full long season, hard work, and it's kind of biggest prize if about the after the season, if you manage to do it. I'm gonna miss it after. I'm gonna miss it. It's difficult to say what's the feeling going to be. I'm sure it must be a very special feeling.
goes right down to the wire, it's even more important to get you, the viewer, as close as possible to the action. One of the vital tools in doing this is Virtual Spectator. Recent innovations in technology mean we can get more accurate information faster, allowing us to provide you with more detailed analysis.
For television, I think it's absolutely a fabulous tool. It not only portrays a lot of good stories, it can actually show us true performance between cars and each driver.
As the stories unfold, Virtual Spectator becomes an invaluable tool in comparison and analysis. Now, thanks to Inmarsat's satellite technology, all the data needed to create Virtual Spectator is sent directly from the end of the stage.
What we have here is we have a satellite link which is connected direct to London, and we have a wireless router in this box. And what happens is when the cars drive around the stage, they build up data into a file. This data is GPS telemetry and speed, which is recorded 5 times a second. Now, when the car comes around and stops at the stop control behind us, the car starts talking to the wireless router, and the wireless router sucks off all the data from the car, and it sends it over the satellite link.
From London, the data is returned to the service park, where Virtual Spectator can then transform it into amazing detailed on-screen graphics, allowing you to see just how fast these cars can go and just how close the competition is.
With Inmarsat satellite technology and wireless links, when a car stops at the stop line, it can be almost transmitted straight from there via satellite London back here within about 3 seconds. So we can react at least hours earlier, which will help us make storyline much better, and we can even react much later in the day.
So thanks to Virtual Spectator, when Marcus Grönholm threw away his chances of winning Rally Germany, you were able to see how, why and where, all from the comfort of your own home.
Pitkä kova se plus ja oikein täysyli 150. Pirun pitkä kova se miinus. 2. Pirun pitkä kova se miinus vähän tiukka. 5. Pitkä helppo oikein miinus 120. Lyhyt helppo vasen plus heti nyppy oikealle 5. Hyppy pitkä oikein tiukka keventää. Ja hyppy vasemmalle erinä. Ja pitkä K oikein sisältä yli hypyn vähän tiukka aukee 3. Nyppy ja oikein täys 9. Lyhyt helppo vasen plus ja hyppy keskeltä täys 8. Oikein ylös 4. Nyppy 15. Pirun pitkä vasen nopea plus vähän helppona sisältä aukee vähän ylös 3. Hae helppo vasen yli hypyn, pidä keskellä ja huomio helppo vasen yli hypyn aukeen. 8. Hyppy 15, lyhyt helppo oikee miinus, heti lyhyt helppo vasen plus. Ja nyppy jatkuu helppo oikee vähän kapea suppuun ja nyppy vasemmalle. Ja helppo oikee plus ja lyhyt helppo vasen plus yli hypyn. 8. Hyppy oikealle helppo miinuksena 3, hyppy vasemmalle eri plussana 2. Nyppy pitkä K vasen plus. Ja nyppy pirun pitkä oikeeri aukee heti ja nyppy oikealle 2 pitkä K oikee miinus tiukka. Pikkukivi sisällä ylös. Ja vasen ja lyhyt oikeeri plus tarkasti oikasen 2 ylös. Nyppy täys ja vasen täys 5. Huomio hyppy eri plussana uraa pitkin 120. Hyppy helppona ei vasemmalle 5. Vasen täys miinus ja lyhyt helppo oikee. Heti varo hyppy erinä ja oikee eri plus. 4. Nyppy jatkuu vasen eri sisältä keventää varo ulko ja helppo oikee miinus yli keventää 5. Huomiohan vähän pirun pitkä K vasen miinus pidä sisällä 3. Huomio pitkä K oikee plus alas. Jatkuu pitkä K oikee plus vähän tiukka 3. Huomio pirun pitkä K vasen keventää yli pidä sisällä lopussa 150. Pidä vasemmalla, hyppy alas, jatkuu lyhyt helppo oikee 3. Pitkä K vasen helppo, kirraa nypylle ja aukee yli 2. Pitkä K vasen. vasen ja nyppy oikealle 3. Nyppy pirun pitkä K oikein miinus 8. Pirun pitkä K oikein plus kivi sisällä alussa aukee yli 8. Nyppy vasen laita täys 8. Nyppy vasen laita täys hyppää 150. Lyhyt helppo oikein plus aukee 4. Hyppy helppo plussana 4. Hyppy täys ja vasen täys 120. Nyppy vasen täys 150. Nyppy oikein laita täys 150. Nyppy vasemmalle keventää, jatkuu pitkä helppo vasen plus yli ja oikee täys. 7, nyppy 7, pitkä oikee täys miinus tiukka aukee ja nyppy täys 120. Vasen täys yli 140. Nyppy vähän vasemmalle täys 120. Helppo vasen plus tarkasti sisältä ja vasen täys yli 5. Hyppy oikeeri plus varo paha kivi sisällä 5. Pitkä nyppy keskeltä täys 7. Nyppy täys 4, pitkä helppo vasen plus yli 2 nypyn. Huomio 8, pitkä vasen nopea plus helppo, älä oikaise. 7. Nyppy täys ja nyppy täys 180, paremmin menee kuin äsken. Nyppy 3, K oikee plus helppona aukee heti. Jatkuu pitkä K oikee ylös aukee. Ja vasen täys yli hypyn. Ja pitkä nyppy 8. Huomio, nyppy 10, pitkä K vasen miinus, vähän tiukka dos. Ja nyppy oikee laita 3. Huomio, hyppy vasemmalle erinä, huomio jarrutus 45, pitkä oikee nopea plus sisältä, aukee vähän. Ja vasen oikee täys 100. Nyppy 15, pirun pitkä K vasen miinus, tiukka pidä sisällä ja pikkukivi sisällä. Ja pitkä helppo oikee. Ja huomio hae vasen eri plus yli hypyn nypylle sisään 2. Pirun pitkä K oikein plus kivi sisällä alussa aukee vähän 5. Helppo oikein 4, lyhyt helppo oikein plus sisältä yli 5. Huomio nyppy 45 jyrkkään alas, vasen nopea plus aukee heti helppo. 5 alas. Vasen ja nyppy oikealle 4, huomio pitkä helppo oikein, vähän tiukka yli aukee heti. Ja hyppy täys 100. Nyppy lyhyt helppo oikein plus heti lyhyt helppo vasen plus tarkasti yli 7. Vasen täys 7. Helppo vasen plus sisältä aukee yli 9. Hae ihan vähän hyppy helppo oikein plus yli 8. Hyppy ja helppo vasen ylös. Ja pitkä nyppy hyppää 2, pitkä oikeeri vähän tiukka aukee heti.
Menee taas.
Joo, ja hyppy oikealle helppona 5, hyppy oikein laita 7, huomio hyppy vasemmalle erinä. Ja pitkä vasen eri plus yli hypyn. Saatana näitä renkkaita oikein täys miinus 3, tupla huomiolla hyppy keskeltä vähän vasemmalle eri plus varo hyppää. Ja nyppy 4, pirun pitkä oikein eri pidä sisällä 3. Pitkä vasen eri yli 4, huomio pitkä vasen nopea miinus risteys tarkasti. Ja oikein täys 100. 10 kilsaa kesti ennen kuin hajasi. Vasen täys yli ja oikein täys yli 8. Nyppy täys 5. Nyppy 100, pirun pitkä helppo vasen miinus yli 5. Pitkä oikein ripus tarkasti yli, älä oikaise 7. Nyppy pitkä vasen eri plus helppona aukee 3. Pitkä oikein eri plus tiukka aukee heti yli 5. Nyppy täys ja nyppy täys 250. Eihän täältä enää ulos, kun saatana tärin. Pitkä oikein eri plus helppo ja pitkä vasen täys 200. Oikein täys 120. Tarkasti oikein täys miinus yli hypyn aukee ja hyppy vasen täys yli 100. Huomio. Nyppy pitkä vasen eri plus tarkasti 3. Nyppy jatkuu pitkä helppo oikein miinus aukee heti 9. Nyppy täys 5. Hyppy täys 120. Nyppy pitkä vasen täys miinus tiukkana yli aukee 100. Huomio. Nyppy pitkä helppo oikein miinus kirraa vähän 7. Nyppy oikein laita 25, vasen täys miinus 100. Nyppy ja notko täys ja nyppy 5. Nyppy 3, pitkä helppo vasen sisältä alas, vähän tiukkana aukee heti 3. Helppo oikee keventää yli, aukee heti 120. Nyppy pitkä helppo oikee plus yli hypyn, aukee heti 5. Hyppy täys -8, pitkä helppo vasen plus yli pidä keskellä. Ja pitkä helppo vasen plus ylös. 150. Nyppy helppo oikee plus varos sisä 100. Nyppy helppo oikee plus keventää pikku sumppuun varos sisä. Joo.
Kun lentää toi rengas panteelta.
Helppo vasen plus yli 6. Lyhyt helppo oikee yli 3, huomio nyppy oikeelle, jatkuu pitkä K oikee plus yli aukee. 6. Lyhyt K vasen plus 2, huomio pitkä K vasen miinus. Ja pitkä helppo oikee 4. Hae oikee eri plus tiukkana yli hypyn varos sisä, heti hyppy helppo vasen plus 100. Nyppy oikeelle täys miinus ja pitkä helppo vasen miinus aukee ylös. Ja vasen täys 120.
No ei sitä mitään, ne pysyy päällä.
Joo, nyppy keskeltä täys 100. Älä hae nyppy oikeelle, jatkuu pitkä oikee eri yli 3 hypyn aukee. 5.
Jos se lähtee tässä voista
Huomio, hae hyppy oikeelle, helppo plus 100 ja oikee täys -5. Hae vähän pitkä vasen eri plus helppona yli hypyn. 120. Pitkä helppo oikee, pikku suppuun ja hyppy täys 120. Vasen täys yli ja nyppy täys 7 alas. Vasen huomio 7, pitkä K vasen plus tarkasti sisältä.
Lakkaa kyllä näkyvyys.
Joo, ei saatana näe mitään. Ja oikee täys 150. Tarkasti pitkä helppo oikee. Ja vasen täys 8. Lyhyt helppo oikee plus ja vasen täys miinus ja huomio pitkä nyppy helppo oikee plus aukee 120. Nyppy helppo vasen ja helppo oikee plus aukee 5. Nyppy vasemmalle jatkuu nyppy pitkä helppo vasen miinus aukee ja nyppy helppo oikee miinus aukee heti. Ja pitkä nyppy vähän oikee laita 5, lyhyt helppo vasen plus 120. Pitkä oikeeri plus pikku suppuun, heti nyppy pitkä helppo vasen vähän tiukkana 5. Nyppy oikee laita ja vasen huomio, heti nyppy lyhyt K oikee plus sisältä aukee heti 5. Pitkä oikee täys 5. Hain nyppy jatkuu pitkä K vasen plus helppo pidä sisällä 120. Huomio nyppy vasemmalle, heti hidas takavinen oikee risteys kapenee 5. Pitkä K vasen plus ja oikee täys yli 150. Oikee täys miinus yli 6. Huomio vasen 2, pitkä vasen eri vähän tiukka varos sisään 8. Pitkä helppo oikee 8. Huomio oikee 3. Vasen yli 2 alas, pitkä paha oikee dos, risteys aukee 300. Nyt helppo oikein, mutta aukee heti yli 6. Kyllä ei mennä nähdä lukea nuottia, kun tärisee niin perkeleen. Pitkä helppo vasen tarkasti 8. Varo hyppy ja pitkä vasen eri plus kapenee. Heti pirun pitkä oikee eri. Aukee heti 2. Pitkä K vasen plus varo ulko. Ja hyppy täys 5. Pitkä vasen täys miinus 100. Helppo oikee sisältä yli ja vasen täys 100. Vasen täys yli ja hyppy helppo plussana ja hyppy oikeelle täys miinus. Ja oikee vasen täys miinus 3. Hyppy jatkuu helppo vasen. Jatkuu helppo vasen huomio heti oikein plus aukee 6. Huomio pitkä K oikee helppona ylös. Ja vasen 7. Huomio paha vasen yli aukee heti 5. Hyppy helppona 4. Nyppy oikee täys miinus 6. Nyppy pitkä helppo vasen miinus. Ja lyhyt helppo oikee miinus varo ulko 3. Nyppy helppo oikee ja lyhyt helppo vasen aukee yli hypyn Ja nyppy ja oikein. 2 tarkasti vasen eri plus kapea varo ihan sisään. 3 alas. Vasen täys -5. Helppo vasen vähän tiukkana 100. Vasen eri plus helppona ylös ja oikein täys 8. Nyppy lyhyt helppo vasen huomio heti pidon pitkä helppo oikein 8 ylös. Oikein 5 ylös tarkasti nyppy pidon pitkä vasen eri plus. Ja nyppy alas ja pitkä vasen eri plus ylös. Ja nyppy täys 3. Nyppy vasen laita 2 huomio oikein 15 pitkä K oikein miinus tiukka. Heti nyppy täys. Ja nyppy oikein täys 5. Vasen täys miinus yli hyppyn. Ja nyppy täys ja hyppy täys miinus 8. Huomio jarrutus lyhyt helppo vasen yli 3. Jyrkkään alas pitkä K. Alas aukein. 3. Notko ja ylös huomio nyppy 15. Pitkä vasen nopea miinus sisältä. Auke. Ja pitkä oikein nopea yli auke. Ja 2 kertaa nyppy täys alas 7. Nyppy täys miinus 4. Hyppy vasemmalle helppona ja hyppy oikealle helppona ei ihan sisältä 9. Huomio. Kiru pitkä vasen nopea plus helppo yli auke. 4. Hyppy pitkä oikein nopea plus helppo älä oikaise. Ja oikein eri plus. Ja nyppy 5. Ja pitkä oikein eri huomio jarrutus 10 alas K vasen miinus vähän tiukka. Aukee heti. 120. Pitkä vasen nopea helppo tuppoon. Ja oikein eri 3. Lyhyt vasen nopea plus helppo oikaise aukee heti yli. 2. K vasen miinus kirraa heti pitkä oikein nopea plus helppo. Ja nyppy täys 120. Pitkä oikein nopea helppo kivi sisällä 3. Vasen täys ja oikein täys 100. Nyppy täys 140. Helppo vasen plus 120. Pitkä helppo vasen 8. Tarkasti pidon pitkä oikein eri plus vähän tiukka auke 6. Tosi pitkä vasen. Tosi pitkä vasen nopea aukee lopun. Ja vasen. Ja nyppy heti pitkä oikein nopea miinus tuppuun ja risteys suoraan. 160. Pitkä K vasen tiukka dos. Älä oikaise. Aukee heti yli. Jatkuu vasen. Ja ihan vähän pitkä oikein plus yli. 5. Pitkä helppo vasen yli ja oikein täys yli alas. Jatkuu pitkä oikein täys miinus 100. Pitkä vasen täys sisältä ja oikein täys. Ei tällä pysty menee. Jatkuu pitkä helppo oikein.
easy right, minus 70, flat right over crest 40, easy left narrow, 120, flat left, long, 40, easy right minus, long, 50, fast right, 60, flat left minus 40, flat right to crest 60, left max 100, left max 60, fast left plus the fast left plus 40, and flat right long 50 medium left plus the medium left 80, small medium right tightens 30, flat left 30, flat right minus 40, medium left minus 20 left 100, right, in, tightening, 40, fast right, anti-right button long, 30, flat left, 70, long press 60, flat right to easy right plus, tightens maybe, 100, flat left, long, 10, flat right minus, 120, left max, 100, right max, long, 60, right max, 60, flat right minus in, 30, flat left, minus tight, 30, flat right, minus tight, 20, easy left, 30, flat left, 50 brake, fast right, the medium right, plus tight, 80, medium left, plus, long, 50, left max, 30, flat right, plus, 20, flat left, plus, easy, left in, fast left, 50, fast right, minus 30, flat left, 20, flat right, 60, flat right 30, flat right long, tightens 20, easy left, 100, long slight twist to easy right to fast right, tightens long, 30, medium left, long, to medium left, plus, 50, brave 70, easy right plus 40, fast right plus long, to fast right, 100, fast left, long, to flat left, 50, flat left, 80, easy left 10, fast left, in, long, 30, fast right plus long to easy right, 70, flat right tight 70, medium left plus, tightens maybe, 100, slight press 30, long slight press to flat right long, to flat right minus, 250, flat right 20, 250, flat right 20, easy right of a long press tightens, 20 fast left, long, 80, long press 70, flat right, brake into crest, left max 30, medium right, minus, tightens maybe, 20, medium left minus, long, 50, long press, 200, press 80, flat right, camber, long, 30, flat right minus tightens, to easy right, long, 80 braking, medium left in, and opens, 60, easy right long, opens, 60, flat right of a long press, to slight left 80, fast left, 10 fast left, minus, 70, flat left, plus, 100, press 50, left max, 170, flat right minus over crest 20, easy right plus, tight left, to slight left 80, slight left 100, left max 60, easy right tightens, to fast right tightens, 20 fast left, minus, long, 200, slight left 100, flat right plus 80, left max 20, flat left plus in, 30 flat right plus a braking 70, come fast left, plus, flat right, slight right, 30, right max over crest 80, flat right plus long 80, crest 450, slight crest 10, fast right in, and open. 120, left max 150, medium left, the bottom left 120, there's 40 flat right minus long 300, there's 20 flat left plus 20, and left max 150, long crest 100, slight crest 40, fast left plus 30, fast left plus long opens 80, crest 80, easy left tight median to flat left 120, long slight crest the right max long 20, flat right plus in 70, flat left plus 100, flat right tighten to maybe 20, flat right tighten maybe 30, flat right in 100, slight left 50, crest 50, easy right plus tighten maybe in 40, flat right 80, fast right plus the fast right long 30, flat left 60, left max 300, slight left to definite left max over crest 170, crest 150, slight right 60, flat left minus tight and easy left in 20, flat right 120, long crest 50, slight left 200, medium right 10, slow medium right in 80, fast left long 30, flat right 30, flat right long to crest 60, fast left minus and medium left opens 70, left max 120, long crest 50, very long crest 50, flat right minus to flat right 80, right max 100, easy left plus to easy left plus long 20, 90 right 200, long crest 80, crest 150, crest 80, slight left 80, flat right tightens 30, flat right minus in 150, left max long 70, slight left over crest long 450, slight left on crest okay 80, slight left 30, slight left 80, slight right long 250, slight right long 250, flat left long 50, easy left plus tight maybe long 60, crest 80, flat right plus 70, crest 20, flat right in to flat right 150, left max to flat left plus to left max 80, camber flat left minus tight 80, crest 70, slight left to crest 120, fast right minus 20, medium right plus in 60, crest 30, slight right long 80, flat right 20, flat right in 100, fast left plus tighten to easy left 70, long crest 50, slight crest to right max 120, to right, in long, 60, tail lane, tight big and long, 120, long crest 50, fast right, long, open, 70, crest 70, crest 70, easy right plus, and flat right, 170, flat left, 20 flat left in, so crest, easy braking, fast left, long, tightens, 40, flat right to minus long, to flat right minus 150, crest 100, left max 40, crest easy flat right, tightens and flat right minus in, 120, slight crest 70, easy left, plus, to flat left, 200, easy right plus, and easy right plus in, 100, slight right over crest on 250, slight right 70, easy left in long, and opens 70, easy left minus long, 120, long crest 250, crest 60 flat right minus 30, easy right, long, Richard finishes stage. Tightens on the easy left minus, tightens long.
Ciel tout droit, 150 mètres, droit 148 court. Droit 148 court, 200 mètres. 200 mètres, attention, pas au ciel, sur 30 mètres, 220 moins. Sur 30 mètres, 220 moins et droite à fond. Droite à fond, 100 mètres, gauche 140. 100 mètres, gauche 140, sur droite 100 mètres, gauche 60 épingles. Droite 100 mètres, gauche 60 épingles. Droite à fond, 100 mètres. 100 mètres au panneau, droite 20 épingles. 100 mètres au panneau, droite 20 épingles. 100 mètres, gauche à fond, sur droite à fond. Gauche à fond, droite à fond. Droite à fond, droite 140 court. Droite 140 court et droite 138 plus. Droite 138 plus, sur gauche 140 moins. Gauche 180 mètres au ciel. Pour 140 bon court frein pour 100 mètres. Droite 60 épingles et 3. 100 mètres, droite 60 épingles et 3. Et gauche à fond. Gauche à fond, 100 mètres. 100 mètres, 3 cordes de rail frein pour gauche 40 épingles. 3 cordes de rail frein pour gauche 40 épingles. Droite à fond. Droite à fond, 80 mètres, gauche 80 moins. Attention, droite 92, ferme 40. 40 pour gauche 120 moins, start-up. 40 pour gauche 120 moins, start-up, 100 mètres. 100 mètres, on va faire 10 corps de rail. 100 mètres, on va faire 10 corps de rail, attention, 40 mètres, on va prendre 10 corps de salle. 10 corps de salle, gauche 120 gros rail. Gauche 120 gros rail, 80 mètres, droite 90. 80 mètres, droite à fond. droite à fond, 80 mètres. Gauche 126 compte par gros rail. 126 compte par gros rail. Sur attention, droite 126 gros rail. Droite 126 gros rail, 100 mètres. Gauche 136 tours de rail. Gauche 136 tours de rail, 100 mètres. Droite 40 tours de 60 mètres. 60 épingles de salle. 60 mètres, 60 épingles de salle. 80 mètres, gauche 60 par corde. Gauche 60 par corde. Et droite 80. Droite 80 sur gauche à fond. Gauche à fond 100 mètres. Gauche droite 130 par corde de gros rail. Gauche droite 130 par corde de gros rail. 80 mètres, droite 80 mètres de corde de très sale. 80 mètres de corde très sale. 80 mètres. Gauche 60 plus de salle. Gauche 60 plus de salle. Ouvre et ferme fort d'un long gros rail. Gros rail sur attention 30 mètres, droite 50 épingles. Droite 50 épingles, 150 mètres, droite corde. Attention, 259 pneus pour droite 50 cordes. Droite 4 minutes plus qu'il en corde. Droite 4 minutes plus qu'il en corde. 50 mètres, gauche en tape, au rail. Gauche en tape, au rail. 52 mètres, droite à fond tape. Droite à fond tape. Donc c'est tout droit sur place. 80 mètres, 22. Droite 60 équertales. 80 mètres, 22. Droite 60 équertales. 30 mètres, gauchis. Gauchis, sur attention, droite 30 court. Droite 30 court et attention. Droite 5 mètres pour 60 mètres, gauche 50 mètres, pas corps. Droite 5 mètres pour 60 mètres, gauche 50 mètres, pas corps. Droite à fond. Droite à fond, gauche 50 mètres, corde ouvre. Corde ouvre, 4 mètres, attention, gauche 44 mètres, point Milan les Gérailles. Point Milan les Gérailles, droite 122 par le temps. Droite 122 par le temps, les droitiers. Droite 100 mètres. Droite 5 pour 50 mètres, gauche 100. Droite 5 pour 50 mètres, gauche 100. Gauche 100 et gauchis. Gauchis 80 mètres, gauche 120. Gauchis 80 mètres, gauche 120, 50 mètres, attention, droite 80, demande pas corps. Droite 80, demande pas corps, 50 mètres, gauche à fond. Gauche à fond, 100 mètres, gauche 100 moins long, ouvre long sur droite 5. Gauche 100 moins long, ouvre long sur droite 5 et 200 mètres. 200 mètres. Attention, droite gauche en plus corps. Droite gauche en plus corps, 180 mètres. 180 mètres au panneau, gauche en plus kilo. Gauche en plus kilo, 200 mètres, droite à fond. 200 mètres droite à fond, 130 mètres, attention, droite en vers moins long. Attention, droite en vers moins long, 100 mètres. 100 mètres, droite gauche en plus kilo. Droite en plus kilo, gauche 140 moins très long. Gauche 140 moins très long, 150 mètres. 150 mètres, gauche en plus kilo. 130 mètres. Droite vraiment long. Droite vraiment long, mais gauche 140 moins. 140 moins, 130 mètres. Gauche 140 plus long fond. Gauche 140 plus long fond, 200 mètres. Droite 150 kilos. Droite 150 kilos et 100 mètres, attention. Droite 150 mètres, gauche 4 mètres moins. 100 mètres, attention. Droite 150 mètres, gauche 4 mètres moins. 100 mètres, long gauche 140 moins, long droit. 100 mètres, long gauche 140 moins, long droit. 200 mètres. Long droit, 200 mètres, droite 140 plus. 200 mètres, droite 140 plus. 130 mètres, pièce, droite 140 mètres, droite 140 pour les Gérailles. 200 mètres, droite 140 pour les Gérailles, gauche 140 kilos. Gauche 140 kilos, droite 140 plus long. 140 plus long, 200 mètres, Comorard, droite 120 moins kilos. 200 mètres, Comorard, droite 120 moins kilos. Et attention, gauche 4 mètres plus court. Et attention, gauche 4 mètres plus court. 100 mètres, droite 4 mètres moins pas corde, ouvre sans plus. 100 mètres, droite 4 mètres moins pas corde, ouvre sans plus. Sans plus et attention, gauche 60 plus corde qui ouvre. Corde qui ouvre sur droitie. Sur droitie, sur gauche 60 plus court. Sur attention 70 mètres, droite 120 pour corde légère, gros rail. Droite 120 pour corde légère, gros rail, 130 mètres, droite 60 épingles. Droite 60 épingles. Et gauche 140 au fond. Gauche 140 au fond, 150 mètres, gauche 140 plus court. Gauche 140 plus court, sur attention 80 mètres, droite 124 plus par fond pour gauche 50 épingles. Droite 124 plus par fond pour gauche 50 épingles, et gauche à fond. Gauche à fond, sur droite 140 plus court. Droite 140 plus court, 100 mètres, droite 140 secondes. Droite 140 secondes et droite gauchis. Droite gauchis, attention, droite au frein pour gauche 140 moins, minons pas corde. Droite frein pour gauche 140 moins, minons pas corde. Et droite gauchis ouvre. Droite gauchis ouvre et gauche frein 100 mètres, 120 mètres, droite on est plus poussière. Gauche frein 100 mètres, 120 mètres, droite on est plus poussière. Gauche 100 plus. Gauche 100 plus. Et attention, droite 100 pas corde, gauche 130 long. D'accord, sur gauche 130 long, 100 mètres, attention. Droite chapeau. Le chapeau 200 mètres, 340 de Monte dans sa corde. 240 au cours. 240 au cours et en tête à fond, et comme son pied d'élève. 340 gros rail. 340 gros rail, 100 mètres, 240 mètres, 50 mètres, 4 encore. 50 mètres, 4 encore, 50 mètres. 220 ou 35, 240 mètres de corde totale. 240 mètres de corde totale et 4 mètres plus encore de rail. 4 mètres encore de rail sur Gauchy. Gauchy et Gauchy sur 30 40 mètres au 100. Gauchy sur 30 40 mètres au 100, 60 mètres, 60 plus. 60 plus et 3 à fond. 3 à fond, 80 mètres, 140 kilos. 340 kilos, 80 mètres, négocié pour 240 plus sévères. 240 plus sévères, 150 mètres, double action, poste 5. 250 mètres, 230 points d'accord de profondeur d'alpha. 70, ouvre l'eau sur 5, gauche, 50 obligé. Pour 380 moins, 3 d'accord. Gauche, 50 obligé, pour 380 moins, 3 d'accord. Et 390 plus 20, pour attention, gauche, 50 et 15. Gauche, 50 et 15. Échelle terminée pour Daniel.